Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live stream. My God, did Omar Khan nail this draft, man. His first offseason, true offseason as the Steelers general manager. My goodness, man.
Let me just say that Omar Khan seriously needed to hit this draft. Like, I don't know if many people understand how important it was for Omar Khan to strike not only in this offseason, but especially in this draft. Now, that might be putting a lot of weight. That might be putting a lot of stuff on Omar Khan's plate. Okay, that's shoes to fill with Kevin Colbert and all the success he did. And not to discredit Kevin Colbert in any way whatsoever, right? But Omar Khan in his first draft as Steelers GM hit it out the park. I'm not going to give it no grades because I think it's too early for that. But I will say, man, the potential that this draft has, the potential that the Steelers draft class has for the 2023 NFL draft.
And the players that basically fell into our laps based off what happened throughout the entire draft process, that upside, that talent, that potential is out of this world.
It is skyrocket high. It is out of this planet. That's how much potential this has. I'm not going to give this draft class any grades yet. That's for the upcoming years. But the potential and the guys that literally he stole at the selections he picked them at.
Yeah, I will say
it's just mind blowing.
I will say this, based off the talent and the names and the value that we got with our selections, based off that, maybe one of the best drafts so far.
And definitely one of the best drafts.
At least this year.
From a talent aspect, one of the best drafts in recent Steelers history. And there's been a couple of decent ones, especially last year. And the potential that has with Kenny Pickett and George Pickens and guys like that. But speaking of Kenny Pickett, this is exactly why Omar Khan needed to strike with this draft. Especially in his first draft, because we are in Kenny Pickett's rookie year. You see how many teams in the NFL are striking with quarterbacks in their rookie deals, and you see what they're getting after their rookie deals financially. Kenny Pickett's rookie contract is our best chance to strike before we have to pay him, if he succeeds, which I think we can all agree that we have high hopes for Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
And seeing what this team has added this offseason, and especially this past weekend, the past 3 days, this team is absolutely improved, man. It really is.
And this draft was really a bonus for Omar Khan after what he did in free agency. The names that he brought in, and Patrick Peterson, a veteran guy that still has a little bit left in the tank at his age that can bring guidance and veteranship to a young cornerback room. He brought in Isaac Sayamalu and Nate Herbig for the interior offensive line at that position. He traded for Allen Robinson to bring guidance and veteranship for the wide receiver position, and another great hand as the wide receiver 3 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now this, insane.
So huge shout out to Omar King Khan for what could potentially be one of the best draft class, I'm going to say it, in Steelers history. I'm not going to give it a grade. I'm not saying this is going to compare to the 74 class.
Nothing will ever compare to that.
Ever will compare to that. But the potential that this draft class has is seriously high. So I loved what King Khan did this weekend. We all should. We should be giving him his flowers for his first draft. If this is a testament of what he's going to do in the coming years, then I think the Steelers are in good hands. I mean, we kind of already knew that with how he extended Deontay and Boswell and Minka before preseason even started last year. And he came into his first full offseason like this. I mean, huge shout out to
he said it
Omar Khan.
himself, he doesn't consider himself aggressive. He's just trying to win a Super Bowl.
He's aggressive.
And this is what we need to get back to.
He's aggressive.
This is
Come on,
what
man.
Omar Khan is trying to get back to, and I love it.
And he lets you know immediately with his first pick, the first selection of him as GM. He traded from number 17 to 14 in front of a tackle-needy team in the New York Jets. He traded with the New England Patriots. All he traded was the 17th pick and the 120th pick, a fourth-rounder. That's it, to move up 3 spots and draft our next franchise left tackle, which is what the Steelers needed. A lot of us have been stressing that all offseason. There were a couple mocks we did where we didn't take a tackle, but literally almost every single mock we did include a left tackle in the first round.
We never left our stance about the Steelers looking at the left tackle position. In free agency, they even looked at options at that position. They had the writing on the wall.
So this is why we were so passionate with the Broderick Jones selection. The Steelers select Broderick Jones, tackle out of Georgia with the 14th overall pick. This is why we were so passionate, because we needed a franchise left tackle. When I mean a franchise left tackle, I'm talking someone that'll be with the line and grow at Kenny his entire career, 10 to 15 years. That is the talent that Broderick Jones has. Now, he's not the perfect tackle. He's not the most experienced left tackle. In fact, he's only started 1 full year as a left tackle. He had a great year. He allowed 0 sacks and minimal pressures for Stetson Bennett as the Georgia Bulldogs went to back-to-back championships. In fact, he stepped in for the final 4 games of their initial championship on their back-to-back run, and then eventually started all of last year.
Yeah.
So there is some inexperience. There is some raw technique, and it shows with his lack of starting experience. But I trust him as a player. I trust our O-line coach. I trust our positional coaches to grow this guy.
Yeah. And when you look at this guy's tape, you see this guy as a true mauler, as a dominant tackle. When he gets a hold of somebody, he's going to hurt him.
Yes. His intention is, I'm going to hurt you.
You ain't going to hurt my quarterback. I'm going to hurt you.
Exactly. That's what we need on the offensive line, man. We have lacked that since Lily DeCastro, Foster, and Patsy. We have lacked that. We get that in our next franchise tackle, Broderick Jones. He is so young. He's still only 21. He has so much to learn. He can only grow. He can only get better. This guy, maybe not immediately, but has the potential to be one of the better tackles in the NFL. And the fact that the Steelers trade up for him, it shows you how much they wanted to prioritize that position. I'm so glad they did, man.
Yeah.
And yes, were we excited over an offensive tackle? Yeah, we were excited over an offensive lineman.
Listen, you're goddamn right we were passionate about it.
Any team would be ecstatic about grabbing an offensive tackle after your rookie quarterback just got 2 concussions last year. So excuse us for getting hyped and being passionate about improving this line, about helping Pickett, about helping this offense.
It's something that we were vocal about all offseason, something that we have said time and time again. And when the Steelers made that trade and made that selection, that passion came out.
Yes.
That's true emotion of what we wanted the Steelers to do, and thank God they did.
And Broderick Jones is officially going to be wearing number 77 on that line, on that left side. He is our day 1 starting future left tackle. Franchise left tackle at that. I am so happy with this selection. He was one of the guys, man, we knew could have dropped, was one of the more realistic options at 17. Steelers weren't going to take no chances.
No.
Just give up our 4th rounder. Screw it. We'll go get the guy. Why not? I love the aggression. I love that they selected him. Broderick Jones is a Pittsburgh Steeler, and he's going to grow with Kenny. I love it. Now, at 32, I don't know how this guy fell out of the first round. This guy was expected to go day 1. In fact, there were many mocks of him going to the Steelers at 17.
But somehow, some way, he managed to fall down to the number 32 pick, the first pick of day 2. And now the Steelers did receive multiple calls about potentially trading it away, but ultimately they did not trade away because I believe their mind was truly made up on getting this player.
Especially after he fell out of the first round. I mean, we're talking about Joey Porter Jr., defensive back out of Penn State with the 32nd overall pick.
PZ Jr.
He was at Kansas City for the first round of the NFL draft. And the second he was selected, it was being reported that he's already on his way to Pittsburgh. Yeah, he knew he was the pick right after he fell out of the first round. The Steelers were not going to trade that pick unless that a team sent an impossible offer to turn down. They had their mind set that night before.
Yes.
When he fell out of the first round. And the fact they got him at the first pick of day 2, of night 2, is great value. And no, we're not ecstatic just because of his last name. Is it a tremendous story? Yes. I mean, his dad was a legend for the team. And to see his son drafted to the same team wearing the same colors, I mean, that Super Bowl 40 celebration, the picture says it all. The writing was on the wall, and none of us even knew about it yet. Like, that is a tremendous story, but I don't want to look at this as just a tremendous story. This guy is seriously going to be a very good football player and has the true potential to be a blue-chip lockdown cornerback 1 for this team, and I do mean that. The stats show it. His film shows it.
Yes, it does.
He allowed 0 touchdowns last year. In fact, he was only targeted 16 times in the last 9 games because he broke Penn State records for most pass breakups.
Yeah, and he forced, if I'm not mistaken, he forced a 40% completion rate, which was, I believe, number 1 in his division last year.
Every time I watch his film, man, it's just he never appeared like out of place. He was always around where the football was. He was always very sticky with the man he was covering.
And I think a big part of that is because of his rare size and not just height, but his arm length at the same time. He's got some of the longest arm lengths in recent memory for defensive backs.
Yes. So is it a great story? Of course. We love to see it. Everyone loves to see it. But he's just more than a story. He's going to continue that Porter name, that Porter legacy.
Yeah.
We're all rooting for him based on that. But I'm rooting for him because, obviously, because of that, but I also want him to just make his own name. Very similar to TJ Watt. Oh, you only took TJ because he's JJ's brother. You only took TJ because of his last name. Nobody looks at TJ as JJ's brother no more. Yeah. And I want this man to be looked at as no longer Joey Porter Jr. I want him to be looked at as Joey Porter, the cornerback. I want him to be looked at as Joey Porter, our cornerback one for the future, not Joey Porter Sr.'s son. That's the legacy I want him to make.
Goddamn right,
Continue that Porter name legacy, but make your own legacy. Your dad had a hell of a one. We all loved him.
Now it's your turn.
Create your own.
It is your turn, PZ Jr.
We're all excited for Joey. How do we get him at 32?
I don't know, but I'm glad we did, man. True potential as a true number one, as a press cornerback, something that we do need. He has all potential in the world to be an outstanding player for this defense.
And they took offensive tackle and cornerback with the first two
of the biggest needs on the Steelers roster.
And the value that they got these guys, and that's not going to be the last time we said it, is tremendous. And the same thing is said for the next guy. At pick 49. With the 49th pick, the Steelers selected Keeanu Benton, defensive tackle out of Wisconsin. He truly has the upside to be the next Javon Hargrave.
Yeah.
We've been saying it a couple months now. He was always a fan favorite among the Steelers Nation. I mean, he's one of the better interior linemen in this draft class just based on his size, his high motor, his quickness, his strength. He's going to start off in the nose as a two-down guy. But Terrell Austin already told you, not just strictly that. He's going to start there initially. That's where he's going to get his feet wet. On rundowns, he's going to be as that two-down guy in the middle of that front seven, filling those gaps. We need a gap-filling D tackle. We need someone in the nose. But this guy has the potential to branch out into an eventual full three-down guy. Yeah. Possibly someone right beside Hayward.
Yeah.
That's how much upside this guy has. He's such a disruptor at the line of scrimmage.
Exactly, man. We haven't really had anybody like that in the middle of the defensive line since Javon Hargrave. Since then, we've had fill-in guys, and they look solid here and there, but they never were really long-term solutions. This guy can be a long-term solution. Based off of his film, based off what he did for the Badgers' run defense, the guy is explosive.
Yes, he is.
The guy's an explosive defensive lineman. He can disrupt offensive lines. He can disrupt the running game. This is a great addition to the defensive line, and it goes to show the Steelers were focusing heavily on the trenches.
Yes, and
that's a big influence of Andy Weidel.
Exactly. That is massively because of the new assistant GM and Andy Weidel, man. They got their big trench guy on the left side of the O-line with Broderick Jones, and with the third pick they had, which originally was their second pick until we literally traded Chase Claypool for Joey Porter Jr. How about that? Then they went with defensive tackle, trenches. They're building the trenches.
Yeah. And those three positions, man, offensive tackle, cornerback, and defensive tackle, three of the biggest Steelers needs, and they focused on them heavily.
It showed last year especially the trenches, but definitely our three biggest needs, and they attacked it early. Just
those three picks alone, the Steelers weren't playing around.
No.
But when it came to their third-round pick, now they originally had the 80th overall pick, but they decided to trade back. The Panthers traded up with the Steelers, and they were able to acquire pick 93 and pick 132, since we didn't have the 120 because of the Broderick Jones trade.
Which also makes the Broderick Jones trade even greater because they still eventually got the fourth-round pick.
Yeah, they did.
So that makes the Broderick Jones trade even greater, and you knew they weren't going to go into day 3 without a pick before the 7th rounds. They just weren't.
No.
They had too many positions to fill. They traded back from 80. They traded down 13 spots, and with that pick, the 93rd pick, the Steelers selected Darnell Washington, tight end out of Georgia. How about this guy?
How did this man fall all the way down to the 93rd pick?
We all know his knee concerns.
I know we know.
His injury concerns.
But I still got a question. It's like a man of his athletic traits and his size and his run-stuffing ability at the tight end position, even some decent hands here and there. The fact that this man fell all the way down to pick 93 in the third round, Steelers took best player available.
Not only that, but they did take an underrated need. We don't have a blocking tight end. I don't see this as a Freiermuth replacement. I see this as someone to stand right beside Pat Freiermuth. We needed a blocking tight end. We all love Muth. He's a great receiving guy. He's going to be one of Pickett's best hand man, right? But we don't have that blocking tight end. Gentry's tall, but he hasn't progressed as a blocking guy. Neither has Muth. And, of course, Connor Hayward. This benefits Connor Hayward.
Yeah.
Because now he can be used as a utility weapon. He could fill in that Derek Watt role at fullback while still being inserted at tight end, still being inserted in the slot. We saw what he can do when he had the ball in his hands late last year. He can be a serious underrated slot threat for this offense.
Yeah, he can be an underrated playmaker.
Wherever
you put him on the field, he's gonna make plays.
He has that skill, and I think it's definitely going to move him around, and it's going to benefit him as well.
Especially since we haven't re-signed Derek Watt yet at fullback.
Exactly.
So you put him there, and then you can mismatch him wherever you need, kind of like a Kyle Juszczyk kind of way with the 49ers.
Exactly. While Darnell Washington, he's going to come in and initially be that run-blocking tight end for goal-to-goal situations or just on run plays. He's going to be great in that role. He's one of the better guys at that spot in this draft class. He's one of the better run blocking tight ends. The fact he fell all the way down to 93 is just, I don't understand it, because there were people even saying we could select Darnell Washington at pick 32, or even if he's there, pick 49. We selected him down at the very end of day 2.
Yeah.
The very end of round 3. That is a fucking steal. That is a great value pick right there. Now, the reason he fell is due to knee concerns, but he quickly kind of
He shut those down.
Yeah, he shut those down, saying he never had no serious knee injury. He had a little knee surgery there, but it wasn't nothing major. No tears, no knee injuries, knock on wood. But
just
he's as clean as a whistle.
But just that alone was able to cause teams to allow him to drop and not select him earlier than he probably should have been. But that caused the Steelers to take him with the 93rd pick.
And not only is he going to be the run blocking tight end that we needed, man, he's an extension of the O-line. You know the Steelers really want to run that football, so you see where the priorities lie.
Yeah, he's essentially, when you look at his size, he's essentially a skinnier offensive tackle.
But here's the thing.
He can also run routes at the same time.
He's so athletic with his size, 6'7", 264, and he's so athletic. And a lot of people may not know this. He's the number 2 tight end behind Brock Bowers, who's the number 1 tight end next year's draft. And he's still got decent receiving production. Bowers took a lot of that receiving production from Washington. And very similar to the Steelers, Muth's going to be that receiving guy. But don't sleep on Darnell Washington's vertical threat upside. He has the athleticism. He has the speed. His hands are still a question mark. I'm not going to lie to you. But he has that athleticism and that potential there to be used in that aspect.
Yeah.
His yak ability is very good, man. He's just a big body threat. He's like an offensive lineman at tight end.
Exactly.
Which is why the Steelers selected this guy. I love this pick. And where we got him, again, we're going to say this a lot, great value. All these selections, honestly, are great value.
Oh, dude, it's insane value.
It's crazy because you look at our 3 day 2 picks. Joey Porter Jr., Keeanu Benton, and Darnell Washington. They were all expected to go a lot earlier than anticipated. And truthfully, if you move all those up 1 round, it's still a good draft.
Yeah.
If you erase Broderick Jones. But we still got Broderick Jones and still got all those guys. Like, that's fucking... It's like the cards fell in our favor.
It really did.
Like, I don't know how exactly that happened for the Steelers, but everything fell in our favor for the first 2 days.
Hey, listen, man, I'm not complaining one bit. I am not.
Why would you?
Why would we, man?
Now, could they have won another position? Surely, but I'm not hating the Darnell Washington pick whatsoever.
I mean, listen, man, at the 93rd pick, he was arguably the best available player on the board.
He
and
was.
the Steelers weren't going to pass up on a guy like that of his athletic trait, his run blocking ability. I am very excited to see him line up against Broderick Jones once again, like they did in Georgia.
Yeah, because
we double dipped in school, and that's not the only time we did.
No, we did double dip at Georgia, and we got the Washington and Broderick Jones connection back, where they have blocked beside each other. They've lined up beside each other,
and they really started their football journey together at the next level since 2020.
Yeah, so now they
from
continue.
that to Georgia to now the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Exactly, man. You love to see it. They continue that journey. That communication's already there. You line up Darnell Washington and Broderick Jones right beside each other in goal line situations. That's not fucking fair. Like, you got 2 big mauling blockers with Najee Harris running the football, or even Jalen Warren.
Hey, listen, man, that may not be fair, but NFL teams allow that to happen.
Yeah.
Steelers can't pass up on that.
Hell no, they can't pass up on that. Just like they allowed George Pickens to fall to 52 last year. Like, what?
Yeah.
Plus, they are now reunited as teammates. Oh, once again. So you love to see it. You love to see it. I will mention this one thing, though, before we get into the 132nd pick. I want to mention this one thing, okay? They added Broderick Jones, offensive tackle, right? The picket fence is complete. It is complete. And I love what we could do with how much youth we have and the experience interiorly. I love it, right?
Yeah.
You drafted Darnell Washington, tight end, big blocking tight end, red zone threat with his size and his blocking ability. Matt Canada has zero fucking excuses now.
No.
Zero,
man.
Do you know what our red zone efficiency was last year? 51.9, which was actually down from the previous year's 54. I want zero excuses from Matt Canada.
Yeah.
I don't see any excuses for the guy no more. You got the Georgia Bulldog blocking duo blocking for your first round running back behind your first round quarterback in the red zone.
As well as a big addition of Isaac Seumalo in free agency. And you traded for Allen Robinson as a third wide receiver. And you're heading into Kenny Pickett's second year. There's zero excuse for Matt Canada, man.
Zero excuses. And not just for the red zone, but for the offense in general. Now, I still don't trust the guy. It wouldn't be a SteelTwins live stream if there wasn't no Canada slander, I suppose. Listen.
Canada concern,
I suppose, yeah. But I don't trust Canada. I don't. I am so scared that he is going to ruin the potential of this offense this year. I am. I absolutely hope he proves me wrong. I want nothing more to that. But he has no excuses now. He had no excuses last year, but especially now, not this year. I just want to get that out there real quick.
No, you're absolutely right, man.
Heading into the fourth round, though. We traded the 120th, but we got the 132nd back. We traded down, we essentially traded down 12 spots, which isn't bad because the pick that they got, man, you know, a lot of people were saying he wasn't going to be there. He was projected to go late day 2. Why he fell may be due to his size, but nonetheless, again, the cards fell in our favor. And you knew if he was going to be there, the Steelers were going to draft him because it was a need, because the bloodlines remain in Pittsburgh, and this is just a great player.
And it's a perfect fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. With the 132nd pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Nick Herbig, edge out of Wisconsin. We double dip in schools again.
So, Broderick Jones, Darnell Washington, Georgia. Then we got Keeanu Benton and Nick Herbig from Wisconsin.
We got 2 big key pieces of the Georgia Bulldogs offense and 2 big key pieces of the Wisconsin Badgers defense.
You love it. You love it. You love to have that chemistry. You love to have that communication, especially going to the next level. But the addition of Nick Herbig is huge because edge is a serious concern. We have no one behind Watt and Highsmith. Now we do. Last year was atrocious. When Watt went down, I don't even want to think about it no more.
Yeah, the defense was entirely gone.
Now we ain't got to worry about that with a guy like Nick Herbig. Yes, he is undersized. That may be due why he dropped all the way down to 132.
Yeah, if you guys are curious, he's 6'2", 240 pounds. So for an edge guy, an outside linebacker, yeah, it's pretty small.
It is, but I'm not concerned because he still finished his Badgers career with 36 tackles for loss and 21 sacks. 20 in the last 2 years. 11 last year.
Yeah.
And TJ Watt last year went to the Badgers Pro Day, where he worked out and was pretty much teaching.
And aiding out Nick Herbig.
And now, a year later, they are teammates. And you know, not only because of the Wisconsin Badgers background, but also it's just how TJ Watt is. He's going to take this guy right under his wing. That's going to be great. And that's really going to help this edge depth. That's really going to help this edge core.
Yeah.
Nick Herbig is still going to bring a level of run defense and impact in the pass rush to still make up for the fact that Watt and Highsmith are in relief.
Exactly, man.
Which is why they selected this guy. Yes, he is Nate Herbig's brother who we signed in free agency. You knew they were going to get him based on that, right? Anytime you get any sort of sibling or anytime you have a bloodline in the NFL, you can damn well bet the Steelers have your eye on you.
But always don't think, they got him because, of his last name. The man's impact in Wisconsin, Nick Herbig, even for his size, was crazy. His arsenal of pass rush moves was damn good.
And I think that's one of the ways that he benefits from his undersized ability, quote unquote, is he just knows how to get to the quarterback. He just knows how to just rush the guy, pressure the quarterback. He's always breathing down their necks. He's quarterback hungry. And for an edge piece, we needed it. And with the 4th round, again, that's a great value.
As a number 3 outside linebacker, as a rotational piece for Watt and Highsmith, it's a perfect fit for him and the Steelers.
You love it.
And it's a position that we had to address, and by God, we did.
Yeah, you got to love it, man. You absolutely have to love it. Nick Herbig is a Pittsburgh Steeler. He's pairing with Watt and Highsmith. They're going to make a very good edge core. And based on that, the defense has already improved, along with the addition of Keeanu Benton and, of course, Joey Porter.
Yes.
But how about this one? Right, we don't have a 5th or 6th rounder. The Steelers, I thought were going to make a trade.
Yeah, apparently, I have in my notes here, apparently they had offers to move into the rounds, but they ultimately chose not to. Apparently none of the moves motivated them into making a trade there. So they ultimately just sat and waited till the 7th round.
Or they had 2 of them, which is the 241st and the 251st. The 241st, I'm surprised this guy fell this far. He was projected to go early day 3. He fell all the way down to the 7th.
And I'm not going to lie, watching the draft live, me and Dan were kind of hoping, maybe the Steelers pick him, a best player available option. And that's exactly what they did. With the 241st pick, the Steelers selected Cory Trice Jr., defensive back out of Purdue.
This guy is 6'3", 206. This is another big, physical press man coverage cornerback.
And this is a man that was projected to potentially go late day 2, but more so day 3, early day 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even hearing comparisons that he could be this year's Tariq Woolen. Everyone said that about Julius Brents, but more people are saying that about Cory Trice from Purdue. I see the comparison. I really do. And he's actually athletic. He's still got speed to him as well. He succeeds in press coverage. It's just his strike at the snap, his stickiness, just the way he attacks the ball carrier is intensifying, honestly.
Yeah.
And for a 7th round pick, you got to like it. I think it's good value there as well. He'll obviously start from special teams. He's very good corner depth. He could come in rotations later on. And I think this might tell the tale for Ahkello Witherspoon's future, especially if this guy beats him out in training camp.
Yeah.
Truthfully. Because what I see right now, everyone's saying Tariq Woolen. What I see right now is more of a James Pierre, a faster, more athletic James Pierre. Similar size, much faster, much more aggressive. He'll get his few in special teams. He might get used in sub package if he remains on the team. But I really like what this guy could bring to the table, man.
Based off where he was projected to go, but we were able to get him in the 7th round with his value. He does have upside. He can work off as depth, rotational piece, special teams guy. And I like the pick here.
And he has 24 career starts, which included 13 last year.
Now, the thing about him, possibly a potential reason why he dropped is there's a bit of injury concerns with him. If he can manage those, and if he can really work his way up the depth chart, then I really like this value pick
I think this guy can make a very good depth piece down the road. Potentially take James Pierce's depth spot down the road. That's how I could view this initially.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, last year he rebounded after going out with a 2021 season-ending injury. He really rebounded with a big year, starting all games, having 10 passes defended, which led the team. I mean, the guy shows some potential. For a 7th round pick, good value. You got to like what the Steelers can get out of this guy. I wouldn't expect much because he's a 7th round pick, but the potential he has and where he was expected to go, we could have a decent depth piece down the line. I'm just going to say that. But the fact is, the Steelers double-dipped at corner, which you got to love.
Yeah.
But they double-dipped at corner with 2 big physical guys that succeed in press coverage.
Yeah.
Outside guys at that. I love that. Based on that alone, I love that.
Yes, absolutely.
You got to love it. And with the 251st pick, the final pick that finished off Khan's first mock, or first draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Spencer Anderson, offensive lineman out of Maryland. I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw this, I was like, who? I'm not sure if many people knew who this guy was.
Yeah.
But a quick research showed us that the one word you can describe Spencer Anderson is versatility.
Yeah.
To the max.
Because he's played 5 years at Maryland, and throughout those 5 years, he's literally played multiple snaps at every single position on the offensive line.
Literally every single
position. Every position.
Every single position. I mean, he played 5 years at Maryland, plus he's from Maryland. So, Tom not going to have a draft without drafting someone from Maryland. So, I don't know.
But that's whatever. I mean, the guy speaks of versatility. The last 3 seasons, Anderson has started all games for Maryland, 31 in total. 4 starts at left tackle in 2020, 5 starts at center, 4 in 2020, and 1 in 2021.
At center.
10 starts at right tackle, 9 in 2021, and 1 in 2022, and 12 starts at right guard, all in 2022. So that's a lot of versatility, and the Steelers adore versatile offensive linemen.
And I read that he actually started off as a center in his earlier years in Maryland. This guy, man, just speaks versatility. The Steelers adore that in their linemen, especially a depth piece. It'll be interesting to see where Pat Meyer and company place this guy on the line. What they're going to, have him work and where they're going to have him produce, I suppose. We'll see where they put him at. He could be another swing tackle piece. But due to his size, was he 6'5", 320?
Yeah, he's a pretty big, bulky guy. He's got a big stature. So he may be moved into inside because of that. But, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what he does with training camp and preseason and see if he can truly make a statement to make the 53-man roster.
But this one speaks of a complete camp body and someone that who's going to be given a really good opportunity could really take it. So you gotta like that aspect of it, the versatility and his youth and his great experience. We'll see what the guy's got. So we'll see what the Steelers do with him. But I mean, look at this draft class. Look at Omar Khan's first draft class.
Absolutely insane. Broderick Jones, Joey Porter Jr., Keeanu Benton, Darnell Washington, Nick Herbig, Cory Trice Jr., and Spencer Anderson.
Wow.
Freaking incredible. Absolutely. As far as the name value goes and where they were projected and where we got them at, out of this world.
Dude, he absolutely nailed his first draft. And he needed to, for the reasons we said earlier in the live stream. Just because Kenny's in a rookie contract and the Steelers need to strike in his rookie contract. And we really needed to strike with this draft in this offseason in Kenny's second year. And Khan did more than that. He really exceeded expectations.
Especially in a very competitive AFC conference.
Yes, he
with
did.
The quarterbacks that are pretty much taking over that conference, if not the NFL.
Yes. Now, obviously, he didn't fill every single need. Nor could you in this. In this draft.
It was damn near. It was impossible. Let's be honest.
I mean, I would say still some of our biggest needs now is, you could say safety, strong safety. But I'm also going to mention, of course, inside linebacker and slot corner. I suppose we'll start off with inside linebacker, right? Because, the Steelers did trade back from 80. And you know why? Because they wanted a day 3 pick early on, and that got him Nick Herbig, right? And it got him the 93rd pick, got him Darnell Washington still, even though they dropped back. But because they dropped back from 80, 3 of their top linebackers, or what I would suspect their top linebackers, all went when they dropped from 80.
And we're talking about coverage linebackers here. Guys that have the upside and potential to be the true coverage linebacker that the Steelers have been seeking for quite some time.
Guys like Dan Henley, Trenton Simpson, Dorian Williams all went after the Steelers traded back from 80.
Hell, I even throw out DeMarvin Overshown.
Yeah.
4 inside linebackers after 80 were taken.
And that hurt.
Before the number 93 pick.
And that hurt because the Steelers showed a lot of interest in a lot of those guys. They went to the pro days. They brought them in for pre-draft visits. They were looking heavily in those guys. And maybe they took the gamble and trading back to get extra capital and praying and hoping at least one of them would have been there. And none of them were. Now, it's still landing Darnell Washington, and we can't hate it. But Steelers have no coverage linebackers. We like Holcomb. We like what Robert's going to bring to the table in the run defense especially. But we have no true athlete or coverage linebacker in that room, which makes me think, could they bring back Myles Jack for a cheaper deal?
Now, when you look at Myles Jack, I mean, he's not exactly the best in coverage. He hasn't really had that good coverage ability since his earlier years in Jacksonville with the Saxonville defense. But based off, Holcomb and Roberts' coverage ability, I mean, Jack's slightly better at that.
Yeah.
Especially with his speed. He's still a speedy guy at that.
Unless they plan on using Keanu Neal there because he has that linebacker safety hybrid, maybe a DeMonte Casey. Maybe they bring in someone else.
Yeah, I mean, still not out the realm of possibility for them to sign another additional linebacker. But, I mean, I don't really know too many out there. The only one that I know is Myles Jack.
So if the medicals pan out well, they could bring back Myles Jack on a cheap 1-year deal.
Or I'm going to throw this out there. Could they take the chance? Could they take the risk and see how much Mark Robinson has grown at the inside linebacker position?
They could gamble on that. They very well could. They really like him a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, last preseason, we were vocal about him. He should have made the 53-man roster, which he did. He was pretty good in that.
Yeah.
But when he stepped in for Jack and Bush, when both of them were benched last season, You know, he didn't really look too keen. He didn't look too good. Then again, he's still growing at the inside linebacker position, and he was a 7th-round rookie last year.
Because technically, Mark Robinson's coming into his 3rd year as an inside linebacker in his entire career.
Yeah.
So he's still growing in that room. Plus, he has a new linebacker coach to learn from. So they could gamble on that, but inside linebacker, specifically a coverage linebacker, is still a lack on this defense, on this team. So is a true slot corner. Now, however, because the Steelers didn't have a 5th or 6th round pick, they got bored and let's just sign somebody. They signed a cornerback. Not only did they draft Joey Porter Jr. and Cory Trice, 2 outside guys, they got someone with a ton of slot experience in free agency, and they signed former Green Bay Packers and Minnesota Vikings slot cornerback Chandon Sullivan.
And this man is a true slot cornerback. He has so much experience at the slot cornerback position, the nickel position.
Now, that doesn't exactly mean he's a solution. That doesn't mean he's a starter. That doesn't mean he's great. But the Steelers adore all that experience and all that
veteranship, really.
Pretty much. I mean, 31 career starts in 71 games he played over the last 5 years with the Eagles, initially because he was undrafted, then got picked up by the Eagles, then he was there for 3 years with the Packers where he had 5 interceptions, and then last year with the Vikings where he started 10 games and no interceptions, but 7 passes defended, as well as some chemistry with Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, as he right now is reunited with Pat Pete.
Yeah, so I don't think he's the starting guy now, but he's definitely going to come in for camp and compete with Millette and Casey and Norwood.
Quite honestly, with Millette, I think that's something he does need because when you look at the cornerback room before Sullivan came in, we didn't really have any competition at the nickel position. It was just Millette there.
But we're talking a guy with 5 years of experience, 31 career starts, over 2,000 snaps in the slot.
So not only does he bring a level of competition, but experience and depth at the same time.
And decent ball skills.
And because of the lack of them not really looking at or addressing slot cornerback in the draft, now granted, some slot cornerbacks were being taken before their 7th-round pick, the first one, you know, this makes up for it.
It does.
And I can't complain whatsoever. I can't hate it at all.
No. Chad, how you feel about this entire draft class and the addition of Sullivan? Let's get into the chat a little bit. Did we trade Bush? No, Bush left. Thank God.
No, Bush, but no, we didn't trade Bush. He just left, and now he's a Seahawk.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on undrafted free agent signing Monty Potenbaum? He is a fullback. I did hear about that. Congrats to him. Apparently, he was a Steelers fan, and now he's joining the Pittsburgh Steelers. How about that?
Yeah, and apparently he's got like a great mullet. He's got a great hairstyle.
Doesn't that speak Pittsburgh?
Yes, it does. It truly does.
So he's going to come in and get a shot to play fullback for sure. I still wonder what they're going to do with Hayward, Connor Hayward. They could put him a fullback. But he's going to come in as a camp body and maybe get that opportunity to see what he can do there. But I like his potential. I've seen small little details of him. He looks nice. He looks like a bulldozer when he's just, blocking for the running back.
Yeah, definitely.
But speaking of free agent signings, undrafted free agent signings, we also signed a quarterback. I thought we would draft a quarterback. We didn't. But they signed, who was it?
It was Minnesota quarterback Tanner Morgan. And considering that we only had Kenny Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky, we didn't have a third quarterback. And whether they were going to draft one or not, ultimately they didn't. You knew they were going to address that position sometime around this draft process, and that's what they did.
Right.
With Tanner Morgan.
This can be said for a lot of undrafted free agents. Most of these guys are going to be camp bodies to see what they can bring to the table. I mean, Jaylen Warren, you saw what he did last year. You guys could always get that diamond in the rough guy. I'm hoping we get that with one of the guys we get this year. There's not much extra news on undrafted free agents yet, but the Steelers should have their full list released shortly. I would hope so. But a guy like Tanner Morgan is going to come in as the third guy now. I don't know if that's going to remain that way, if they sign a veteran, if they bring Mason Rudolph back. I'm not going to roll that out.
Some tells me that they're not exactly done with the quarterback position.
Something tells me they're not done with free agency.
Yeah, that too.
They're not done at all. Because last year, after last year's draft, they signed DeMonte Casey.
They did.
Now, we don't have a coverage linebacker. Could they get Miles Jack back? Could they bring in another nickel corner? Could they bring in another veteran safety? Could they bring in another veteran quarterback?
It's a possibility. They could bring in anybody at any position.
They could.
A position that they didn't address in the draft if they don't have too much faith in these undrafted free agents. Because that's a big gamble.
One thing tells me about Omar Khan is he's never done with anything. He's never done. So almost always expect the unexpected with the guy now.
Yeah.
Because he was groomed under Colbert for a long time, And obviously, he was an in-house promotion. He was deserving of the job. I suppose you could agree with that now. And he is living the Steelers' tendencies. He's still living, what he was groomed under with Colbert. But he's telling you, I'm doing this my way.
Yeah,
like,
it seemed like he just couldn't wait to get in that chair, get in that office, and be like, seriously, it's my turn now.
Seriously,
it's my time now.
He's just itching to get in that chair and make moves and do things his way. And his way he is doing right. Look at this draft class. Look at this offseason, man. Like, wow. Keanu Neal played middle linebacker in Dallas. Tanner Muse was same mold. No interior linebacker picks. All info you need, I just wrote. Well, you're right there. I could see them playing Neal at linebacker and putting Casey up top at strong safety if they wanted to.
Yeah, they do have that flexibility. It's probably one of the reasons why they brought in Neal, not just safety depth, but a security blanket for inside linebacker.
Yeah. I could see them doing something like that because of that versatility. And they've always liked Keanu Neal. They brought him in for pre-draft visit during the, 2016 draft?
Something like that.
Which, by the way, they've claimed a lot of 2016 first-rounders. Or just draft picks in general the past couple years.
Yeah, they really did.
I guess it makes up for our 2016 first-round pick. But we don't have to worry about that now because look at it 7 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
With Omar Khan now. How you guys feeling about this draft class? I want to ask you guys, how do you feel about this draft class? What was your guys' favorite pick? What was your favorite Steelers pick? I honestly couldn't tell you myself.
So I see this comment right here by NR88. Side note, the Steagles love them Bulldogs. Yes, the Steagles love the Bulldogs. We get the offense of the Bulldogs, and the Eagles get the defense of the Bulldogs.
They really do.
It's going to be maybe an interesting Super Bowl down the road. Who knows, right?
That'd be hilarious.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
That's a great comment, by the way. Yeah, the Steagles love them Bulldogs. I'm just waiting for the actual Bulldog to get drafted. Maybe that's a new mascot. Maybe Steely McBeam is on. Maybe he retires for a year. I don't know. No, knowing us, the Eagles would just take him before us. Let's see where we at in the chat.
Yeah, people are saying Broderick Jones is their favorite pick.
Yeah, you got it.
It's understandable.
It's
why.
my favorite pick, honestly. The more I think about it,
based off our reaction.
Yeah, right. Tony Daniel says we got better guys. This is true, but are we really gonna pretend that the Ravens and Bengals didn't? I mean, they all had good draft classes.
Yeah, a lot of teams overall had good draft classes.
Yeah,
the Seahawks did. I think the Giants did. Certain teams like that did.
Right.
Texans did.
A lot of teams had a lot of good draft classes. And according to Trey here in the chat, it says BT Potter is signing with Pitt. That'll keep Boswell on his toes. Potter has a boot. Okay? P.T. Potter. Where's Draco Malfoy when you need him to say Potter? I swear to God, man, if the guy beats Boswell for his job, which he's not, but honestly, you can't rule anything out. You really can't rule anything out. He's from Clemson. He's a kicker from Clemson.
Okay.
Obviously, in the NFL draft, you don't look at kickers. But the Steelers always love to bring in competition. They did that by claiming, who was it from the Jets? Like Brandon Mann to compete with
the
Presley Harvin.
Yeah, the punter competition that Harvin does need.
Yeah. BT Potter apparently is an undrafted free agent. And apparently he hit 9 of 13 from 50-plus in his career. But he did miss. According to the NFL Combine report here, he said he missed all 4 attempts from 55 and beyond. So he does have a boot. You're right, Trey. He does. But can he bring that accuracy to the next level? But you love to hear he has a boot. Obviously, you need that being a kicker in the NFL nowadays.
I'm just seeing right now on Twitter. Merrimack defensive lineman James Nyamwaya is signing with the Steelers as an undrafted free agent. I'm not too familiar with him, obviously. He's about 6'4", 294 pounds from what I'm seeing.
Okay.
So he's got decent stature. I mean, it's more competition. It's more bodies for the defensive line.
That's all it is, man. It really all is. Hopefully one of these guys, man, takes the opportunity and runs with it like a Jalen Warren did last year. You love to hear those stories. And you know what he's going to do for this offense this year, seeing what we improved in the ground game.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord. There's no doubt in my mind this ground game is going to be deadly.
Well, you already know what the Steelers plan to do. I mean, Art Rooney said himself,
He said it years ago.
Yeah.
We want to get back to running the football and stopping the run.
And boy, with this draft class, is he surely living up to his word.
Not just that, but the offseason. They picked up 2 great linebackers that are just tremendous at that, better than last year's linebackers for the Steelers, I should say.
And interiorly with Herbig and Sayamalu.
And Benton. I mean,
and Benton, yeah.
Like, Yeah, you know what they're getting at. It's just obviously, we're in a passing league, but I don't trust Canada to scheme a successful passing game. I expect Canada to run a tight end
The way
screen.
I see it, if they're going to keep Canada, then you got to stick with what he's best at, and that is,
But why
making up
keep
a running game.
Why?
I don't know.
Why
I don't
keep
know.
Canada?
I don't get it. I don't know why. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I'm truly at a loss for words.
I
Don't want to tarnish the chemistry.
Yeah.
I don't believe in any of that. I don't, because I'm confident in saying that Canada's going to leave after this upcoming season.
Yes. But obviously he remains that dark cloud over this fun parade for the Steelers right now. He's that big dark cloud that's gonna wipe everything away.
Yep.
That scares the shit out of me.
Nicholas Quinn, yes, the Browns did get DeJuan Jones.
Browns got DeJuan Jones
In the 4th round.
Yeah, he fell, and that might have been due to him not running at his pro day, which according to reports that drew Tomlin off from him. So
Yeah.
they got DeJuan Jones. Honestly, our rivals got a lot of guys we really liked.
Yeah, the Ravens got Trenton Simpson. The Browns got Siaki Ika. The Bengals got Jordan Battle.
Plus Charlie Jones.
I did not like that one bit. I didn't, because I think Charlie Jones is a very underrated talent at wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our rivals got some of the talent we were really looking at.
Yeah.
But that's gonna happen, man. That's gonna happen. I honestly think the Ravens really did want Joey Porter Jr. too. So, they could have had him round 1, but they didn't take him. So thank you, Ravens. You clearly don't.
They took Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
To which was probably, that was more important than cornerback. Especially since you extended Lamar Jackson, it was the wisest move to do.
Yeah.
But then again, they are horrible at drafting cornerbacks. They are the anti-Steelers at wide receiver in the draft.
Yeah, they really are.
Although Zay Flowers is a special talent, I will say that.
Luke Jackson, talking about Matt Canada, calls him a bald cloud.
A bald cloud.
He's an invincible cloud. You won't even see him, but it's raining for some reason. You ever go outside and it's raining, it's like there's no fucking clouds. Well, that's Matt Canada for you. And that's what he is to the Steelers offense.
He just tarnishes your mood, your optimism, everything like that.
Yeah, we love this draft class. We love this offseason. This team is definitely improved from last year. We can all agree on that. We can all agree that this team is going to be in playoff contention. Under Tomlin and in Kenny's second year with the team we have, hey, we always got to trust that Tomlin's going to keep us within playoff contention. Super Bowl contention, I'm not going to go that far yet. That's for 2024, 2025 when we really get there and, fingers crossed, get a new OC. This year's going to be more so predominantly running the football.
And just growing all together, especially with these draft selections. This is a full-blown growing process for the Steelers.
It is.
Now, there's a possibility that they could completely surprise the whole NFL league.
I love that. I'm keeping my expectations very standard this year, but I'm loving what the potential of this team has, especially with this draft class and what they showed at the end of last year.
But I do know for a fact this team's growing and growing fast.
I would say that this team, let's call it a flower, I would say that it sprouted very fast because of this draft.
Yeah. Gave it the right amount of water.
Pretty much. Get the ball to Pickens, please. Hey, just toss it up to him. He's going to make a play. I have no fear that he's going to have a sophomore slump, that he's going to have a second-year drop like Chase Claypool or like all these other second-round or second-year guys that just didn't pan out after a really good rookie year, right?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I trust Pickens to, be George Pickens. He just has that it factor.
Yeah.
Are we bringing back Snell? I don't think so. But if they do, I won't be surprised because we don't have a third running back. Unless they trust Anthony McFarland.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm actually curious on the running backs we have on the team right now. I know one's Anthony McFarland as well as the other starters.
And I will say, because of the drafting of Spencer Anderson, I suppose that's a little chemistry for Anthony McFarland, if that's one thing you want to add on that one.
Yeah, potentially. But outside of Anthony McFarland, they have Master Teague and Jason Huntley. That's just about it.
Yeah.
So it's possible they could bring back Snell, not only for experience at the running back position, but special teams value at the same time, because that's actually where he excels at best, his special teams.
Agreed.
He's a very good special teamer.
Connor Herbig could be our third running back. I'd love that as a utility piece. I think that's what this Darnell Washington drafting could really help with that, is use him as a utility piece. He came into the NFL as more so a running back than a tight end. Alfredo Roberts, who you got to trust, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? If anyone has any doubts about Darnell Washington and the selection of him for some reason or another, trust Alfredo Roberts. Ever since he became our tight end coach, Muth has jumped from year to year. Gentry especially has jumped from year to year. Connor Hayward, an undersized tight end, has really shown he can be a very good slot threat. I mean, you got to trust Alfredo Roberts. But with Hayward, I remember last year when we drafted him, we were like, let's use him more as a running back. You know, use him in the backfield. Use him as that receiving back, as a guy who can still merge out wide and you know, empty sets, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're going to do with that. I would love to entertain that option and use them as a utility piece.
Yeah.
Where they are that creative, where they use them that way, we'll see. But one thing's for sure, Connor Hayward's still going to have a role in this team. I would hope so.
There's no doubt about that. He's a Hayward, and Haywards can ball.
Oh, absolutely. And so can Herbigs, so can Porters.
Oh, yeah.
And we got them this year, didn't we? I don't think Cory Trice is going to be the slot guy. I think his role, he's a big physical man coverage guy. He's aggressive. His frame, 6'3", 206. You could try that in the slot, but I don't think he has experience in the slot. The past number of years where he was a converted safety turned corner, and his frame keeps him outside.
Yeah.
You're going to use him there. His role initially is going to be special teams, getting his feet wet, which I think he would excel well at as well. But I think he has a way to fit on this team as a rotational piece in sub packages, very similar to how James Pierre did with this team. I think he could take James Pierre's role in a couple years. Or maybe we keep both as great rotational guys in sub package formats.
That's exactly what you want.
I mean, if we're looking at it, right, this year, Patrick Peterson, Levi Wallace, Joey Porter Jr., James Pierre, Cory Trice, maybe one of the slot guys in Millette or Sullivan, right? Maybe someone else. That's your corner core. But after that, let's say Levi Wallace walks. You still have Peterson if he's still producing at a good level. You got Joey Porter over that. You got the guys under them. And then when Peterson leaves, you still have Joey Porter, someone else beside him, ideally who that could be. I don't know. Maybe if everything plays in the cards well for the Steelers, Cory Trice could be the next Tariq Woolen. And then he's right next to Porter outside. Imagine that.
And you get two tall, lengthy, speedy press coverage cornerbacks.
Now, don't expect that. Don't get your hopes up on that. But in some great world where the cards continue to fall in favor for us, how about it?
I mean, I will say that would be something.
And then, seriously, you could be talking about this class being similar to the 74 class in terms of talent and where they selected the guys and the careers they had. Nothing Hall of Fame-like. I mean, I love this class to be similar to that, but nothing's ever going to reach that again. Never. Not like that. But the potential of this class is high like that. But for Cory Trice, yeah, his role is going to be as a special teamer to get his feet wet. I think he's going to take Witherspoon's role. I think he already has, to be honest with you, because it shows that the Steelers don't trust Witherspoon no more. They don't. Like, he had injuries last year, but he was very much every game inactive after he showed he can't play no more.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, this was a regret of a re-sign. Sit on the bench. We're going to have Sutton and Wallace outside last year. And now that they brought back James Pierre and they drafted Joey Porter and brought in Peterson with Wallace, Witherspoon has no spot.
No.
I think Cory Trice takes that and he'll fit as a potential rotational piece initially.
Yeah, of course.
We're signing Shaq Davis from South Carolina State. Shaq Davis. You got to love the name.
What position?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver, okay.
And according to Tony,
I mean, that was expected.
According to Tony, Shaq Davis is a contested catch monster. Well, that's what we need more of, right?
Okay.
We need more of that.
All right.
Pickens is that. So we need more guys like that. Muth, Darnell Washington. We need guys, Allen Robinson. We need guys like that. We need guys with strong hands. I'm going to search this guy up because I'm a little unfamiliar, but I'm going to look up Shaq Davis and see what it's all about. And I appreciate the chat for letting us know who the Steelers signed as undrafted free agents. So
absolutely, man.
Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to all y'all that are watching us talk about the Steelers draft class and a little bit of then some. So we appreciate all you guys. And if you're new, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We appreciate all y'all. Everyone that joined us for the entire draft journey, mock drafts, in just this past weekend with the 2 live streams and the shorts and the uploads. You guys are true MVPs, and we cannot thank you guys enough.
Absolutely, man. Couldn't say it better myself.
Wait, I heard the Saints are signing Shaq Davis.
The Saints? Well, I'm looking at Shaq Davis right now on ESPN. He's pretty big. He's pretty tall. 6'5".
Yeah, the Saints are signing him. They signed him 2 hours ago.
Okay. Do I even need to talk about this guy?
I don't know.
If he's not being a Steeler. Well, last year, let me just say this. Last year, he had 934 yards on 45 catches and 11 touchdowns.
Oh, wow.
And he's a tall guy, so he's got the size. You know, he's got the college stats for it. I mean, if he's a Saint now, truly, I mean, best of luck to him.
Yeah, really. That's another position we didn't draft, man. Wide receiver.
Well, there's no need.
Isn't.
There's no need anymore.
There isn't. But I was surprised they didn't even, if they were going to throw like a 7th round flyer, I'm like, maybe they get someone with return specialist abilities. Because that's still unknown, right? That's still a little uncertain. But they didn't. Now, they still could sign somebody with that. Maybe they trust Calvin Austin, Anthony Miller, Gunnar Olszewski.
As a matter of fact, since I'm on NFL.com right now, I'm going to see any familiar undrafted wide receivers that they, since they didn't get Shaq Davis reportedly, maybe they get somebody else. They look at somebody else.
Apparently, it was reported an hour ago the Steelers are signing defensive end David Pearls.
Yeah, David Pearls out of Fresno State.
Okay.
Yeah, so, more so an edge guy. He's like 255, 6'3", so he's more of an edge guy. But, I mean, that's another body right there.
It really is.
And apparently, I looked at his stats at the college level of Fresno State. I mean, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, he's a productive monster. So, I mean, again, any of these guys can be given the opportunity and run with it, man. Just anyone that went undrafted, like, it's not over.
This is not the end of the road.
No, it's not, because there's Hall of Famers have been undrafted free agents before. I mean, look at Jalen Warren last year for the Steelers. Like, you guys can strike. You guys can be a part of this team.
You can even look at examples like Akello Witherspoon, Phillip Lindsay for a short time. He was a big star in the NFL. You can look at Ryan Clark, for example. He was undrafted. Clark
especially.
Guys like that, man. Kurt Warner.
Donnie Shell.
Became an MVP.
Donnie Shell, right? He went undrafted.
The road is not over for many of these guys, man.
No, it's not.
It is not over.
I'm trying to see if there's... Because the NFL has a tracker, but obviously they're not updating it properly.
Well, I'm looking at available free agent wide receivers. There's guys like Jalen Morano Cropper from Fresno State.
Bryce Ford Wheaton still there?
He's still there, and I believe the Steelers actually... I think they paid him a visit, something like that.
Yeah.
They were interested in him.
Speedy, big, tall guy.
There's also, what's his name? Jared Wayne out of Pittsburgh. A familiar, handy receiver for Pickett, maybe. Yeah. They could bring him in. I could absolutely see that.
For that connection, absolutely. How do you feel about today? I feel great. I feel ecstatic about this draft class. Again, we're not going to give it grades because we don't think it's fitting to give grades early. Like, it just ended. Like, let's give it 3-4 years before we give grades. But yeah, I mean, the potential of this class is sky high.
Yeah.
Like, I truly mean that. And the way they got these guys and where they got these guys, it's fucking theft. Swear jar. Omar Khan should be arrested for robbery for every single selection.
I think the Steelers have signed an undrafted running back.
Oh, did they?
If I'm not mistaken.
Hang on. Swear jar.
Yeah, the Steelers signed San Diego State running back Jordan Byrd, and apparently he has freakish return specialist abilities.
Okay.
He's 5'9".
I like the sound of that.
He's 5'9", 170 pounds. I'm trying to look at the return stats here on ESPN.com. And return ability, as far as kickoffs, he has 3 career kickoff return touchdowns.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and that was one in the past 3 years at San Diego State. So one in the past each 3 years.
Okay, so he could have an impact as an undrafted free agent in that role. I love that. I love that.
So they're looking at more bodies for special teams.
You gotta love it. Yeah, James Harrison was not undrafted.
Of course. How the hell could we forget that?
How could we forget Debo, bro? Seriously. What number do you think JPJ and Washington will wear? Well, Washington is so focused on wearing 0, which is now allowed in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think he gets 0. I think that looked cool. JPJ, 5's available. 5's available. He could get 9. Wait, no, he can't. Boswell holds that.
No, Boswell ain't giving up that number. He could be number 5.
Give him 5.
Literally, PZ Jr., literally.
Give him 5.
I think that'd be very synonymous.
Give him. We'll call him Little Five.
Little 5. Okay, I actually like that.
Although he's not little. He's fucking 6'3", 200 pounds, and he can lock down receivers. Bye-bye, Gunner. I hope so. Yeah, I mean, he could be 55, but Holcomb already owns that number. Unless, of course, he switches it. Can corners even wear 55? Is that legal?
I don't believe it is. I don't think they're allowed to wear numbers higher than 40 or something.
Okay.
Or I think the limit is maybe 49, something like that.
Let's see. Best Steelers team in years as Menards man, who's an STM, by the way. Appreciate you.
Yes.
I would say so, yes. The youth, the amount of studs on this team, absolutely. This is the best Steelers team in years. This is the best Steelers team on roster. Since, honestly, man, maybe, I don't know, could you say 2020? I might even go further than that, to be honest with you.
I don't know, man. I mean,
I would say 2020 was stacked.
That was truly the last chance for Big Ben.
2020 was stacked.
Not just Big Ben, the entire Steelers team.
Yeah.
That was their 20. I always say this. 2017 was the best chance, but 2020 was the last chance.
The last really good chance because he came back from elbow injury. We had such a stacked defense, and we all know how it ended.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. A projected record after this draft. Well, I'm still expecting them to be within playoff contention. So, now we don't know what the schedule is. The schedule is going to be released shortly, so I'm excited for that. I'm excited who we're going to open the season with and what games we could potentially head to. I'm really looking forward to that and what primetime games we're going to have. I'm still going to stay within playoff contention, so that would be within the 10-7 range.
Something like that,
I think that's
under
fitting.
Tomlin, that's always going to be the case.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And when I mean, like, it's just studs, like, stacked. It is very stacked this year. I mean, there are still holes at slot corner and safety and, of course, middle linebacker. But, you know, you can't fill everything this year. And the Steelers didn't. They couldn't. They could have taken other positions over others, but you can't dislike where they went anywhere in this draft class. You can't. You can have personal preference. That's fine. We all do, but I'm not batting one eye at any of these selections. I'm not looking at any selection that the Steelers took and like, why didn't we take this guy? Like for example, Broderick Jones. Oh, we traded up at 14. Why didn't we take Christian Gonzalez? Well, first of all, Mike Tomlin apparently was out of favor with Christian Gonzalez because of a poor pre-draft visit. So there's that. But also, offensive tackle was necessary. Very necessary.
And
much more necessary than cornerback. And here's another thing I forgot to mention about Broderick Jones when we talked about him, man. I'm so glad it came to mind now. Broderick Jones was the only remaining top tackle on the board, but not just that. He was the only remaining franchise day one starting left tackle in the entire draft. You don't pass on that.
No, it made all the sense in the world considering the Steelers traded in front of the New York Jets.
Yeah.
And they needed a tackle.
You do not pass on that. Or you could say, oh, why don't we take Brian Branch over Joey Porter? Personal preference? We would have taken Branch over Porter. We think he's the better player. And corner is stacked. We could have gotten someone a little later. But I'm not hating the Porter pick whatsoever.
No.
Why would I?
No, I said last night, you can't really go wrong with either guy. You're going to get a good player regardless.
Yeah. Absolutely. Or you could say, why do we trade back 80? Why didn't we just select Trenton Simpson or a Dan Henley there, right?
They won an extra day 3 pick, man.
Well, let's say that, right? Then we wouldn't have had Nick Herbig.
No.
Unless they traded something to get that, but they weren't going to do that. Anyone who doesn't like the pick, just remember how much you guys complained last year. There's always going to be something that someone's going to complain about. And I don't have anything to complain about this offseason or about the draft at all. And that goes to tell you, man, Omar Khan did a fine job. And I think we're in good hands under King Khan. I am so truthful when I say that. I mean, we already kind of figured that before last season when he extended to 3 guys, right? But especially now. If this is setting the tone for his stint as GM, we should all get excited.
This is just the beginning.
This is just the motherfucking beginning, swear jar.
The future is bright, man. We are in good hands. We are in great hands with King Khan, man.
I think we can all agree on that. I have a bad feeling that Kendrick Green might be the backup center next season. I still think Nate Herbig's going to be that. I think he's going to be that versatile J.C. Hasenauer, B.J. Finney, hybrid guard center depth piece. That's what I think. I don't think we got to worry about Kendrick Green being a backup center. I think that's Herbig's job. Let's see. No, Anderson, is he a sleeper on that position? Anderson who?
Oh, Spencer Anderson.
Spencer Anderson. His versatility, I mean, yeah, I mean, he could definitely have an effect on
I
this
find
team.
it interesting because we still have Kendrick Green and we still have Kevin Dotson. And we just added another piece into just not just the interior, but the entire offensive line was Anderson's versatility.
Right.
Like that just brings a more level of competition, as well as Nate Herbig as the depth piece.
Yeah.
At least I'm assuming, and I'm speculating he's the prime depth piece. That's a lot of competition interiorly.
Yeah.
That's a lot of competition.
But we don't know impact of Waddle. Well, his impact was obviously felt. He built the draft board. Khan admitted that early in the combine interview. He said, Waddle's going to build the draft board. We went trenches 2 out of our first 3 picks. That's Andy Waddle. Look at his track record in Philly.
Yeah.
He definitely had an effect. I mean, we got to throw flowers at our entire front office, not just Khan. Yeah, he's the main guy. He's the main GM, but we got to throw our flowers at the entire front office at the same time. They made the right selections. Waddle didn't make the selections. Everyone else did.
Yeah.
But he built the draft board. So everyone gets props. And everyone was hyped about every pick every time we saw that war room.
Yeah.
So I like our picks, but it may take a while for the O-line to gel. It might. I mean, I'm not expecting immediate success. I'm not expecting a Tristan Wirfs rookie year from Broderick Jones. Because, again, he's still kind of raw in his technique and everything because of his lack of starting experience at Georgia. But long-term, yeah, he has the long-term abilities to be a franchise left tackle.
Without a doubt, man.
I'm not expecting immediate success, nor should we. Keep your expectations still very minimal despite the improvement of this team. And most of that has to do with coaching. But, yeah, I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. I give an A on this one. I'm not going to give it a grade until a couple years, but it has that potential, seriously.
Yeah.
It absolutely does, man.
And Dwayne right here says, Ike Taylor, for his scouting of cornerbacks, needs to be praised too.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, he is. Ike Taylor's a scout for this team. And he knows corners.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was one of the better ones.
He
for
probably
the Steelers.
sees himself a lot in Joey Porter, if you think about it.
might.
What's just freaking crazy, dude? He won a Super Bowl with his goddamn dad.
And he helped scout him. Along with Faneca, he announced him. Omar Khan knew his father, and he drafted him. Full circle, bro.
Mike Tomlin had him a part of his coaching staff, as PZ was our linebackers coach.
Full circle, man.
Art Rooney, man, you know, he knew him.
It was made to happen. It was made to happen with PZ Jr., bro. Honestly, man, you know, the fact that you guys are bringing up praise Waddle, praise Taylor. You guys are absolutely right. We have to praise everybody, don't we? Outside of
Absolutely.
Canada. Fuck Matt Canada.
We
have to praise everybody. We have to praise everybody for their
Canada
scouting.
hasn't earned our trust.
Well, listen, the reason I say fuck Canada is because, one, he sucks, but also, he went to 0 pro days, so the hell with him. Whatever reason that was for, I don't know. But everyone that played a part in the scouting and everything this offseason deserves full praise. Najee felt the pressure last year. Giddy up, big fella. Well, Najee also really improved last year when the O-line started to gel and the offense started to get going decently when they started to get a progressive ground game.
Yeah. Now with the upgrades to offensive line and the addition of Darnell Wright as a blocking tight end,
Yep.
I mean, based off what the Steelers have done with the moves that they made for agency draft, stuff like that, I'm anticipating Najee to have, I don't want to say a breakout year, but I guess you could say that, with a true upgraded offensive line.
True.
That's what I'm anticipating, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, Dwayne, you're right. He was literally molded to be a Steeler from birth. I mean, he wore the Porter jersey as a kid when he celebrated with his dad. Little did he know he was probably just going to lose one number and keep that Porter name and just grow however many inches. Man, like, it's a great story, but I want to think about it more as him building his own legacy.
Yeah.
Keep the Porter legacy going, but build it your own. Make it your own great career. And for that, man, I'm very excited. Yeah, young boy, I know. I got to get used to that. I keep saying Darnell Wright. It's Darnell Washington. I got to get used to that. I find myself...
You know, I haven't noticed you say that. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I got to get used to that. Thoughts on Tanner Morgan, second or third string? Right now, third string. Right now,
At the moment. But I don't think the Steelers are done at the quarterback position. I think they bring another guy in.
Yeah.
So I just sense that. They always like 4 quarterbacks on the team for training camp and stuff like that.
I would not rule out a Mason Rudolph return. I know a lot of fans aren't in hopes of that. A lot of fans really dislike Mason for some reason, but I'm not going to rule that out. The Steelers are not done with any free agent signings. They're still going to bring in guys for camp, for training camp, for roster reasons, but
yeah.
You know, they also still got to fill a couple holes. So, is there any other free agent signings?
That's a good question. Let me check real quick.
That's what I'm looking for.
I don't believe there is at the moment, unless I missed something.
I wish NFL.com would update their shit.
Well, the person with the page ain't doing it, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything outside of the, again, like I said, the Merrimack College defensive tackle James Nyamwaya.
Yeah.
Again, I'm terrible with bad last names, but yeah. I guess he's the newest undrafted signee for the Steelers.
Did Kayshawn, the LSU receiver, off the board? Yeah, I think he got drafted. And Rob, I agree. I think we do resign Miles Jack. I think we do as well. Crump. I think Chuck is the odd man out at tackle. Well, I think he's still the starting right tackle, but for how long, I don't know. They didn't restructure his contract. His cap hit increases next year, so I don't know how much longer he's going to be here, but I still anticipate him being the starting right tackle.
Yeah.
So, but think of the O-line. Broderick Jones, Isaac Sayamalu, Mason Cole, James Daniels, and Chuck Okorafor. The picket fence. I can get used to that this year.
Yeah.
I think Najee and Warren are smiling.
I think Kenny's smiling.
I would be. You know, we can sleep well at night knowing that Kenny Pickett is protected.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
We got some maulers on that O-line.
Who did Clark Phillips go to?
Atlanta.
Yeah, I was upset about that. I was hoping he'd fall to 132. But I knew if he didn't, and if Nick Herbig did, then he was going to be the pick.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
I'm surprised Clark Phillips fell that far, though.
Man, what did he do? That is so disrespectful.
I don't know, man.
You know, you can say that for a lot of players. Like, why did Cory Trice drop to the 7th?
Yeah.
Man.
No, there were a lot of players that dropped. You know, Luke Weipler, I think he went in the 6th round.
Antonio Johnson dropped.
Yeah, he dropped all the way to the 5th round. Jamie Robinson fell.
Yeah, like a lot of people dropped. Nicholas says, I would have liked a trade up to get Brian Branch. I know, and I would have liked it too. And he was a couple picks from being there at 49. Whether he would have been the pick or not, I don't know. But
I don't know what they would have really traded away.
They would have had to back end it, but did they want to do that?
I don't think it was worth the risk.
No, because at that point, they didn't have a 4th round pick.
No, they didn't.
They weren't going to trade any extra day 2 to do it. Kareem Hunt, a free agent. What's that got to do with us? I think our running backs are set.
Yeah, I don't think Kareem Hunt's really necessary on the team.
Yeah.
Warren did more than enough to be the number 2.
Yeah, Eli Ricks. I don't know how he fell out.
Yeah, he fell too, yeah.
He went to the Eagles, go figure. It's like they always got to have a Bama or Georgia guy. It's like
A.T. Perry fell, man.
Yeah.
A.T. Perry, the big tall receiver, man.
Didn't he go to the Saints after they traded up?
Yeah, Saints. Yeah, because Saints traded away Adam Trotman and some late round cap to acquire a 6th rounder to pick him up.
Yeah. Kingston Farrell says, you think Witherspoon will have a bounce back? No, I think he's gone. Especially if Cory Trice stays healthy and shows what he could bring. Yeah, I think Witherspoon's gone.
Yeah.
And true, I think, honestly, man, I think he should already be gone because James Pierre can do everything he can. There's no point in keeping him.
Yeah, realistically, if you think about it.
No point in keeping him. But now that we got Cory Trice, I mean, I like the potential there. I know he's a 7th rounder, and I shouldn't get my hopes up, but I like the potential there if he stays healthy. Washington dropped because of cartilage in his knee. Yeah, but that's about it. There's nothing intensely concerning about his knee. So,
sign Isaiah Wynn. I don't trust Chooks. What?
I'm not signing Isaiah Wynn, not at right tackle.
No, as a matter of fact, he's worse at right tackle. I remember the Patriots experimented that last year, and he was god awful.
No,
Plus, serious injury concerns.
No, I'm not signing Wynn. I would absolutely keep Chucks. I understand if you guys don't trust Chucks, it's fine, but He's our best option right now.
I always consider him reliable. Is he inconsistent at times? Of course.
Yeah.
Is he worth the pay? I don't think so. I feel like we should cut some of the cap and save some of it, but make some cap room. But I still feel like Chucks is reliable enough.
Agreed. And I don't know why I didn't do this at the start of the stream. I don't know why I didn't do this, bro. I'm gonna put a poll in the chat. I want you guys to respond, and I think I already know the answer. But I want to see you guys' engagement. I put a poll in the chat. Did the Steelers win the NFL draft? I'll tell you this, they definitely won night 2.
And we got 355 watching right now. So if you are new, do us a quick favor. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you guys are interested.
Shout out to all you guys, man. Shout out to all you guys. Yeah, did the Steelers win the NFL draft? I mean, you could say that. It's really hard to say no. I know they definitely won night 2. In fact, I put a whole article about it this morning on SteelYunders.com. So we were putting news up all day on that website, you know, during the picks, during the signing of Sullivan, you know, just putting news up there. I know they definitely won night 2. And I'm not saying they did win the entire NFL draft, but this has a lot of promise with this class.
See, I'm seeing right here, right now.
From a player aspect, this is the best class I've seen the Steelers draft in a long time. And they've had some decent classes recently. But from a player aspect, this is easily the best class in a long time. Now wait until we see the production. Then that's going to really, like, if it all pans out well, that's going to put this draft class to an all-time great.
And I'm looking on Twitter right now with relative athletic scores for the Steelers 2023 draft class. Every single one of them is over 9 or 8 or 9 outside of Nick Herbig. But even then, that's not that bad because Nick Herbig is near an 8. He's got a 7.75.
Yeah.
But even then, that's not horrible. And he's still an athlete at his size.
Well, the reason why his grade is lower than others is because of his size. That's it.
Even then, that's not really a negative thing about him. He can still use that to his advantage.
Yep. Adam puts it perfectly. Filled tons of need with people that can start game 1. You're absolutely right. Our first 5 picks, they're all going to have an immediate impact. They are. Broderick Jones is going to be a day 1 starter. Joey Porter has a great chance of starting outside alongside Peterson. Keeanu Benton's going to see time immediately as the nose to help fill the run. Darnell Washington's going to be a great run-blocking tight end. He's going to see time early. Nick Herbig, he's our primary edge piece now, which was drastically needed. Our first 5 picks have an immediate impact. And they're all great fucking players.
Yes, they are, man.
Favorite pick with a 199 as Joey Weaver. I got to go Brody. I got to go Broderick Jones, number 77 of the Steelers. Our passion showed it, man. We did not leave our stance on tackle.
That passion came out when Broderick was announced as the next Pittsburgh Steeler.
Especially yours, bro. You're going to protect my quarterback.
Yes, he freaking is. That picket fence is being built.
I'm excited to see if we utilize Muth in the slot a little more with Washington on the line. Matt Canada, like him or not, did hint to that. He did. I would also like to see the same thing for Connor Hayward. You could absolutely flex these guys out in the slot or, keep them at tight end, but flex the other. Like, there's so much versatility with this tight end core. And I wouldn't sleep on Washington being the same way because of his athleticism. I know his primary role is going to be as that blocking guy, pairing alongside the line, be an extension of that, but I'm also not going to roll that part out.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout-out to Steeler Saiyan Jedi.
As he gifted 5 SteelTwins memberships.
Wow, man. That is greatly appreciated.
That is amazing, man.
He gifted 5 Steelers memberships to Donuts and Wings. Great name. Steel City 412, Adam Vincic, Mamba Green Up, and Jason Kirkland. Wow. That is greatly appreciated. Shout out to Steeler Saiyan Jedi. And all you guys, all 5 of you, welcome to the STN.
Absolutely,
and
man.
For those that don't know, we do have a membership. It's $1.99 a month. And you guys get great perks such as emotes in the chat, which more are coming, especially for the season, for the watch parties, where Cold Steel will be joining us all year. It's going to be great. You guys get quarterly giveaways every 3 to 4 months. We do want to make that a thing. It's not officially a perk because YouTube doesn't allow that, but we will make that a perk. It's just specifically in the community tab, as well as you guys get a link to our Discord chat, our exclusive Discord chat, and, of course, early uploads. You guys get access to videos before anyone else.
Yes. And Jedi, I see your comment right here. You deserve this, Twins. Hey, man. Much appreciated. Thank you very much, brother.
Seriously, man. All you guys that have joined us, ones that have watched us for a long time, joined us this past weekend, all the growth, all the fun journeys that we've witnessed throughout the entire draft process, not just the past 3 nights, but it seriously means a lot. It really does. And I'm glad you guys are joining us, man. Seriously. In fact, I think I speak for a lot of us when I say we are tired. We are tired. Because night 1 was exhausting. That dragged. Night 2 even dragged a little bit because these former pro football players outside of Alan Faneca, that's why we love you, kept preaching some garbage that nobody cared about.
Jason McCourty, I remember Drew Pearson kept preaching over stuff like he always does.
And then every time the Steelers had a selection, the NFL Network went to a commercial, so we had to wait an additional 5 minutes to figure out who the next Pittsburgh Steeler was going to be. And of course tonight, 4 to 7th rounds, and of course that lasted 7 hours?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, from 4th round to 7th round like that really dragged.
Plus, the streaming we did, the articles we put up on SteelGunders.com, tweeting, the shorts we made. I mean, son of a bitch. It's all part of the grind, man. It really is.
All part of the grind, just trying to put out the content for you guys, man.
And it's fun. It's fun, man.
It's fun. It's all for you guys.
It's what this team does to us. And hopefully they reward us back in favor because they already have with this draft. Just reward us in production. I'll be very happy.
Yeah. Kingston, does Tanner Muse start with Holcomb? I don't think he does.
No.
I think he just basically special teams value.
He is Marcus Allen's replacement as that special teams ace.
Yeah.
But he could see time there. I'm not going to rule it out, but
as far as rotations go,
it
wouldn't surprise me. But as a starter, I don't think so.
Right. I really doubt it. Appreciate you guys in Cold Steel. I know he does a lot behind the scenes. He does more than you guys know. Seriously. Yeah. So shout out to him, man. Serious shout out to him. I'm glad he joined us for nights 1 and 2 of the draft. It was fun experiencing the picks with him and getting his thoughts. And I can't wait for him to join us for, the watch parties this year.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be an exciting season coming up.
Oh, it is. Especially with this draft and what this team and its potential is, man. I'm keeping my expectations standard. I've learned with this team, don't expect too much, otherwise you'll be disappointed. The way to do that is to expect very standard, results. And if they overexceed it, then great. If they don't, then, you didn't get your hopes up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I continue to do. Until this team truthfully shows, which they have the utmost potential, unless this team truthfully shows they are a year-to-year contender. And when I mean contender, I mean for a Lombardi, not playoff contention primarily.
Yeah.
That's not the current standard. It might, for this year, okay? For this year is an exception because this team is young and we have a bad offensive coordinator. I hope I'm proving wrong, but I seriously don't trust Canada. This year,
how can you?
This year, man, if they make the playoffs, which I think they'll remain in contention, for how young this team is, I suppose that's a dub of a season, right? I know our standard is Lombardi's, but seeing how young this team is, and there is no rush. Kenny's in a rookie year. It's not like we still have Big Ben and he's going out on his last couple years, right? It's not like that. There's no rush yet. There's no rush. He's still in a rookie contract. So if we at least make the playoffs, that's a success in my book. That's just the experience and the hunger that this locker room sorely needs. And we got a lot of winners in that damn locker room.
A lot of guys that want to win.
Oh, exactly. Especially
Kenny.
But especially with a lot of Bulldogs on the team now, man.
Yeah.
Back to back.
They're going to bring that winning mentality back.
100%. Ben Fan, 52 years. This is one of the best drafts since 1974. The Steelers very consistent. They are. They are, man. This is absolutely from a prospect and a selection aspect, from a talent, look at it. This is easily the best draft class the Steelers have had in a long time, at least in my book.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Rob says some of the best reactions from you guys pumped up as far as reactions go. Yeah, based off drafts or game-wise, watch parties, stuff like that.
That's just
That's
passion.
true emotion of how much we care about this team.
Yeah, it is seriously true emotion. Nothing's scripted here. Nothing's fake. No, this is all pure, legit thoughts and emotion.
And Jeff says been watching you since Artie Burns. That's a long time, and I don't want to acknowledge Artie Burns.
No, I would rather no. But it's funny because every time the draft season comes around, we kind of look back at our old reactions, and of course, Artie Burns was the one that really it's one of the most viewed on the channel. Unfortunately, That was 7 years ago.
Yes. Good God, it don't feel like it.
I know I don't. It really don't. But yeah, that was bad. That was bad. That was bad.
That was
even a worse selection.
That was really bad.
Blackwood 412 with a $5 super chat says, first time viewer, what do y'all think about our inside linebacker positions? I love that we improved it. It is improved, but we still lack an inside coverage linebacker.
Yeah.
I think they bring back Miles Jack. He's not the long-term solution, but for this year, they might just bring him back.
But the additions of Holcomb and Roberts, that is going to completely clog up the hole as far as stopping the run.
Oh, the run defense next year is going to be dirty, especially with the addition of Benton, too.
Who the fuck is already Burns? Exactly.
I'd rather forget. I would much rather forget.
Exactly.
You know, we don't have to, we can look back at that and think, man, like, what was this team thinking? But we can look back literally this past weekend and like, man, this team struck. This team really, they weren't playing around.
No. Omar was not playing around.
No.
Waddle was not playing around.
It's crazy because literally every single one of these picks is like great value. They were all expected to go earlier, and they really only had to trade for one of these guys.
Yeah.
Broderick Jones. And everyone just fell in our laps.
Two players that we traded back for should have honestly gone earlier.
Yeah. I absolutely love it. It just fell well for the Steelers. He's literally my favorite pick. Who are you talking about? I hope you're not talking about Artie Burns.
I think he's talking about JPJ because he said, do you think JPJ is a day one starter?
Yeah.
He could be. I mean, Terrell Austin said, there's going to be no limitations or redshirting. He's going to come in and compete.
I also don't want to rule out the idea of Patrick Peterson being moved around. Because there was he even said when he signed with the Steelers, he begged former coaches to move him around, and they didn't. They could put him at safety. They could put him at slot corner. They could put Porter and Wallace outside and put Peterson anywhere on the defense. They could experiment with that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be an exciting idea. As crazy as this may sound, do you think there's a possibility of them signing J.J. Watt when the season starts? I mean, they're all obsessed with brothers and everything. They are, but no.
I think I think he's good.
He's retired. He
can rock a Steelers hat in retirement. That's fine.
He is retired.
That's fine.
And he should stay retired. Telling you, best I've seen since 2014 draft class, and that one was really good. 2017 was good too, but this one is just so stacked.
It's promising. I can't tell you how many times that we have to say it. It's so promising.
Yeah, I don't mean to sound like a broken record. It's just I'm so mind blown. Everything worked out so well this weekend. I'm down in Houston. I'll be rocking black and yellow when the gang comes down. You love to hear it. Black and gold gang is everywhere. He was only good his rookie year. Yeah.
Artie Burns, yeah.
That's it. I don't think you have enough Steelers merchandise in your room. I agree. We don't have enough room to show it. That's the problem. How do you feel about the signing of Sullivan? It's a much needed experience slot corner. We'll see what he can bring to the table.
Exactly.
But his experience
brings a lot of experience, competition, and depth-wise.
It's intriguing. Why did New England draft picks look upset? I don't know.
Yo, Keon White, I swear to God, last night he did not look happy.
And you want to explain to me why the Patriots drafted a kicker and a punter?
Well, keep in mind they traded up for a kicker.
And then they drafted a punter too.
They're the first team since the 2000 Raiders when they drafted Sebastian Janikowski and Shane Letcher. The Patriots are the first team to draft a kicker and punter in the same class.
You gotta say it worked out for them, didn't it? Because they were long-term guys.
As far as special teams, but I mean, didn't win him anything.
No, it didn't.
So
I hope we cut Mitch by the end of the weekend. That's not happening. Omar Khan couldn't give Mitch enough praise at the combine when he had that combine interview. So,
yeah.
Now for his cap hit, for his salary, I don't know why they didn't take a pay cut with him yet. I don't know if that's still in the works, but Mitch isn't going anywhere.
No. Now he's staying for at least this upcoming year.
Twins, do you think we could replace our OC? Yeah, I think we can.
Absolutely.
I wanted to replace him with the Panthers' current OC. Was he Thomas Brown, who was the assistant head coach and OC under Sean McVay?
Or was he tight ends coach?
Tight end, you might be right. Well, he was originally the assistant head coach.
Yeah.
Or OC, one of the two. But then he was eventually the primary tight end coach. I wanted him. I wanted Thomas Brown under McVay's coaching tree.
Yeah.
Because that, obviously has a good resume there. I mean, look at Zach Taylor, right, for example. But no, I mean, I don't know what options hold us next year, but yes, we can easily replace our OC. And no, it's not via a Glenn Thomas or a Mike Sullivan, our quarterback coach. It's not.
No in-house promotion, please.
No, we are done with that. We are done with that. Black and gold never fold. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go, says Robert.
Here we go, Steelers.
You know it, man. You know it. We should all be hyped over this draft class. And with that being said, man, we've been live for about an hour and a half. It was great to get in touch with the chat and to conclude the poll. Did the Steelers win the NFL draft? 120 votes and 92 again said yes. Again, no grades are going to be given here, but yeah, this draft class was a home run.
Definitely within the next 2 or 3 years, maybe we can look back and give it a positive grade.
Yeah.
Hopefully an A+.
Do you think we should sign more O-line or D-line?
I think they did enough.
I think
they did enough because remember, we have Fihoku, we brought in Watts, we still have
Loudermilk, Liao.
Travis Adams.
Yeah.
And then we drafted Benton, and of course the O-line, Sayamalu. You still have Herbig you brought in. You drafted Brooks. You got Spencer Anderson late. You still have Dotson and Green in there as competition, I suppose. Bodies in there. I mean, the trenches are loaded with people.
Yeah, with bodies. But I'm glad of the improvements we made this weekend. We should all be excited about that. Otherwise, I think we're going to get on out here. We're going to finish the night by saying thank you to all you guys for joining us, for all those that have joined us this weekend, the entire draft journey. The draft season is officially over. And it hurts me to say that because the draft season is very fun. It can be exhausting, but it is very fun. Till next year, it was fun to just hypothetically think and get the mocks out and do everything. And the collabs we did, it was great. Shout out to all you guys. And up until next year, we'll see what the draft holds for the Steelers. But let's focus on the upcoming season. Since the draft season is officially over, we have minicamp, we have training camp, then we got preseason, and eventually the regular season. It is still months away, and it sucks. It's going to drag. But at the same time, time flies.
It does.
Time does fly. The draft season flew. I ain't going to lie. But, you know, we are anticipating Steelers football to return. But it's time's going to drag when it comes to that, especially when you really look forward to it. And I'm really looking forward to this season.
Yeah.
But up until then, you know, the content is still going to be pumped out. You know, the offseason is a quiet time. It's, I suppose you can say, a dead time after the draft, but content's still going to be pumped out, not only on the channel, but definitely on the Steel Unitors website. The link's in the description. Definitely go check it out if you haven't already. We already got a bunch of news and articles up this morning revolving around the picks. More to come tomorrow, throughout the week, and throughout the entire offseason, not just on the channel, but, again, the Steel Unitors website. So, shout out to that. And thanks to everyone that joined us the entire draft season, and everyone that subscribed and joined this weekend. You guys are great. I'm glad you're on the journey, and I can't wait for you to see what we got this upcoming offseason. And I can't wait to see what the Steelers do this regular season with the team that they have now with this offseason, and especially this draft class. Let's go over it one more time just because I'm getting jiggy just thinking about it. Broderick Jones, Joey Porter Jr., Keeanu Benton, Darnell Washington, Nick Herbig, Cory Trice, and Spencer Anderson. Omar Khan's first NFL Steelers draft, and he hit an absolute home run. Something Andrew McCutcheon has already done. But listen, shout out to Omar Khan. Shout out to the entire Steelers front office. Shout out to the entire Steelers scouting room. They did a very great job this year.
They did an excellent job with the draft process.
And I think I speak for a lot of us when I say that the potential and the promise that this draft class has, it is stacked. It is without a doubt from a talent, from a prospect. Look at it. It is the best the Steelers have had in a long time. Everything fell in our favor, and I cannot wait to see what this draft class holds from a production aspect on the football field.
Because the future is bright. The future is exciting.
The future is now for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It is a new era in Pittsburgh.
It is the Kenny Pickett era, and this draft class just helps that immensely. And truthfully, I do feel like if everything works out and the production's there, and the Steelers, man, their coaching staff specifically, that's one of the things we're going to talk about in the offseason is the coaching staff and how that's still the cloud over this parade we're having. If that can get out of its way, this team, with how young it is and what Khan is doing and the tone he set in his first draft as Steelers GM, could seriously be something. I truly believe that. A couple months, I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking same old Steelers. They've got me hoping. Seriously. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, we're going to get on out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. And the NFL draft season is over, and now we wait for the Steelers 2023 NFL season. God, it's going to be a long, exhausting wait, but it'll be here before we know it.
It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
Shout out to all you guys. On your way out, if you're new, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Appreciate all you guys. Have a good night. Have a good weekend.
And thank you guys for an awesome NFL draft process. An awesome weekend, man.
And
You
Omar,
guys are the GOATs.
And Omar Khan and the Pittsburgh Steelers, thank you for a great draft class. Here we go, Steelers.
And like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!